Hello, YouTube. It's Silver Age Dave here on Friday in the comic room, and just had a urge to go online again and say a couple things or talk to a couple people. Whatever happens, I'm going to open up one of these so I can see what's happening in the chat. If there's a chat, I see two people. I see four people. Let me turn my volume down. Hey, Kurt. There he is. Christoph. How you doing, buddy? What I have been doing, because my eyesight's bad and I'm not on camera. Hey, Roger. I get the live stream pulled up in my iPhone, and then I can use this to read the chat. So as you guys are chatting, I keep it a little closer to my old ancient eyes, and that seems to work out well. Work is dead. Andy, I am so pleased to help with lack of productivity, because frankly, I'm feeling wildly unproductive right now. Helea Comic Bro is in the house. Paul Adams. Look at Paul is organizing. How about that? Well, hey, hopefully this is, just a fast one. The other day I was going to do a fast live stream, and everyone on there was so awesome. It just turned into a lot more, and it took longer. So I thought I'd touch on a handful of things. I had promised not that long ago. I had taken apart, I think, an Amazing Spider-Man 42. Hey, Scary Time, I've got a book to talk about regarding you. But I had taken apart an Amazing Spider-Man 42 to get to this centerfold. And I said I was going to show you what I ended up doing. Well, I ended up custom making this bag and board. I got to get the little tape from Hobby Lobby to get that mounted. It moves around a little, as you can see. But I just love the art on this, and I kept some other things out of that. It was a trashed copy, but this was in order, and so many people in our age group. Yeah, have a beer. Time for a beer. That's what I say too, Paul. The art in here is stunning, and I just loved it. And anytime I can see a DC crossover in a Marvel book, I get a kick out of that. Now, Metarog just did a big video about DC Marvel unauthorized crossovers, and this one is certainly, they paid for it, but I found it funny that was in there. So that's what I ended up doing with it, is mounting it just on foam board. And I took an art size bag and I cut it down. So I'll have a video on that, but much the same process that I use for bagging stuff like this. And I did a tip video where I custom make bags, for smaller things. He listens to people in the chat. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm not in here. I love the interaction of it, and I'm kind of winding down into the weekend. We're having a lot of snow they're calling for tomorrow, so I thought I'd get online. This weekend I probably won't be able to follow many channels, but I thought, what the heck? Today I'll do a little bit of live stream. So these I want to talk about, the Marvel value stamp books, and this one I wanted to do a big thank you. So many people have answered my question. Shout out to the community, and I'm like, hey, comic guy, I'm like 2 videos behind on responding. Like, I literally, I'm reading, when you guys leave a comment for me, I'm reading them in real time, almost. As they come through, I'm reading them. You guys are putting smiles on my face. I'm getting it. And I'm thinking, oh, I hope I remember to comment on that. But the question of the community, I've had so many great responses on it. I love them. And I wanted to show off, I think, my 2 favorite signatures that I have. Now, the Michael Zeck signature on that G.I. Joe cover swipe, that is an awesome one. And I put that away already. I've got a box for signed comics, but so that's not out here. But my favorite signatures, this Amazing Spider-Man 44 is a real nice copy. I picked this up on eBay years ago. It was part of a bigger, collection that was poorly labeled, poorly listed, and frankly, the person selling this, I don't think they had any clue it was signed. And so this is Amazing Spider-Man 44. This is from January 1967. And the signature, Dr. Von Chilla and a few other people had commented, they want to see the signature inside. Hey, Bama Links, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a bit. Hope everything's going well. And the signature's inside. So I had shared this with ETA Nick quite a while ago. What I do on these, when there's a signature on the inside, I end up photographing, and I'll move these. Hey, Caleb, I'll move these into just a computer, a digital photo, and then on Microsoft Paint, I end up like zooming in, and I create this little panel. So you can see the book, you can see the splash page, and then it zooms in on the signature. So literally, RLM, hey, how you doing? How I'm doing great today. I started off a little groggy, didn't sleep well last night, and then all of a sudden I start scratching my head, and I thought, I want to talk to some people, and this is the best. I just love the community. When I started the channel just over a year ago, what was funny is you make a bunch of videos and no one's watching them. You don't have any subscribers. I mean, I started out with dead flat 0 subscribers, and I'll bet it took 5 months, maybe longer, for me to get a shout out. I think my first shout out was the great legend, and that was on his regular show where, he shouts out everyone. And, that's the kind of interaction I really enjoy is, we all like to be part of the community. And I always thought Legend did a great job of that. So he shouted me out, and then for some reason, something resonated. And then I started getting a few more shout outs. But I always thought, from that point, because it's so hard to get that initial, I think I shout out as many, if not more, channels than anybody. I don't know, but I love doing it, and I love getting to know you guys. And in this live stuff, it's kind of growing on me as a nice platform for, it's going to go whatever direction it goes. So anyway, so that's one of my favorite signed books, because it's an interior, and I didn't pay much, maybe $1 or so for the comic with the other collection, and I didn't even know I was getting it. I opened the book, I thought, oh, some kid wrote his name in there, and then it happens to be Romita. So that was cool. And then my other favorite book, Bad Dad commented on it the other day that he's got, the only signatures he's got is probably the kid that owned the collection before him. This is my copy of Giant Size X-Men 1. I love it. And I've got Andy K right here at the top in green felt marker, or Andy R maybe. Andy R, if you're out there, I'm not selling. Hey, Barry P's in the house. And Discovery Bay Comics. Discovery Bay, I was looking for. Man, the morning updates you're doing, I mean, anyone who's made a video understands it's not that crazy easy to make a video, and you've got the news feed going and you got all that stuff. That's incredible. So I did look. I didn't see one this morning. I didn't see anyone in the lunch hour. So hopefully I'm not stepping on anyone's scheduled time. I wouldn't want to do that. But man, there's a lot of shows anymore. It's like people have staked out the YouTube ground like it's the gold rush. So I'm kind of liking this lunchtime stuff, because I don't think there's many people that do it. But thanks, Discovery Bay, for all that work. That's a ton. It's like Metarog now with the contest roundup. He's doing those. It's incredible. Anyone who wants to get involved in the community, get involved in contests, even if you just comment on them and say, hey, congrats on, 200 or 100 or 600 or whatever the number is. When we're getting familiar with other YouTubers, whether they're making videos or not, whether you're making videos or not, that's what makes the world a better place. No matter where you go in the world, it's only going to be as good as the friends you make. And that's what this place is. That's why it's so special right now. It's this happy, friendly environment. We can just talk comics and get along. So Andy K or Andy R, thanks for signing that book, because I think it's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I'm very respectful. There's so many great channels. There's so many great people out there. And, I can't explain why my channel has grown the way it has. But I just want to stay humble. It's too easy in life to think, oh, I deserve something. I'm just a guy like any of you other guys collecting comics, or girls, you know. So I just appreciate people tuning in and spending a few minutes with me, frankly. So those are a couple of the books I have up here. This one, I was just looking at it and I like it. It's Thor 193. When I was a kid, I always thought it was one of my favorite Thor covers, and I thought, I'm going to get that book someday. And for some reason, I never got it. And so a few years ago, I went online and I found a couple copies. This one over here is easily, I would think, a 9.0, maybe better. And this one is maybe a 7. I don't know, but I just love it, and I think it's a cool cover. So we have that. So we'll put that back here. And then I wanted to touch on Scary Time. I mentioned this on another video. Scary Time, on one of the live things, had asked me, is there ever anything you didn't buy and then you immediately regretted it? And yes, there are things like that. But I also want to talk about a time I bought something, and I'm going to ask for you guys' help with this one. We're 12 minutes in already. I love these Marvel Value Stamp books. I think there's no single event that had a bigger impact on comic books than this one. I mean, there were always coupons in comics. There was always stuff to clip out and send in for, for whether it be the little soldier flats or whatever it was. But, correct me if I'm wrong, Matterog. I think this was the biggest one because it was all encompassing. And I think it wrapped up a lot of serious collectors, where the people clipping the toy ads, those were kids just like little bitty Silver, and so many that are like, man, I just want those toys for $1.50. This one was people that were probably taking good care of their books and were serious about the hobby, and then they were cutting things out, and that's a real game changer. And then moving forward from that, I don't know what you guys think, but I almost think it got people thinking it's okay to cut these books up. And, we talk about the Hulk 181, but it affected the whole Marvel series for such a long period of time. So I do buy these when I see them. I've got a couple of perfect ones here that I think I'm going to get slabbed just because they're very special. I've got a couple here that have stamps in them that are complete. I think one's maybe both are missing a question mark. But this one I went on eBay a few weeks ago, and I saw this one go up, and it was on the cheap end. And I thought, wow. And I did a quick scan of the pictures, and I made an offer that that was low. Okay. So the person was asking one number. I cut it by like not 50%, but maybe 35%. And so I sent that offer in. And then, like, literally, it was an early morning deal. That's when I do some of my eBay stomping. And what stamp's my favorite? You know what? I'd say the question mark stamp is my favorite. Or they do have Mary Jane in here, right there, number 82. I really like that Mary Jane, and I kind of showed her off with the Amazing Spider-Man 42 that I cut open. And I actually, let me see if I have it right here. I saved the art page for that. Let me see if I have it. Hang on, guys. I'm coming back. Yeah, I have it right here. So I saved the art page. This is Amazing Spider-Man 42, and that's the first appearance of Mary Jane. And guys, I think that's the same exact art. I don't know. You tell me. I think that's what they use. Now, Metarog happens to be a guy, when they were trying to figure out who did all the art for these, he's the guy they turned to. If you guys are not subbed to Metarog, you want to be a serious collector, I've said it a lot of times, sub that guy up and go watch his old videos. You will learn stuff. So that's probably my favorite one, and I think that could be where they took it from. Yeah, I think one of these is complete, or potentially I'm missing the question mark on these two books. The question mark's a tricky one because it came out of a different type of magazine. That's the question mark. It is the same art. See, Metarog? So that Amazing Spider-Man 42, really, this is the other stuff I saved out of there. I saved the splash page, which I think is really nice. And this is the first meeting with of Mary Jane, and the first time you saw her face. And then I saved this superhero TV ad with all the, these are all the channels in the States that featured that. Okay. And I just thought that was cool. And this, of course, was the centerfold. And then I saved this page, which is the What's Happening page. And it has like amazing, it has Fantastic Four 56 was coming out, Avengers 33, X-Men 25, Daredevil 21, Thor 133. I mean, this was like right in the stuff, you know. This is just a beautiful time to be collecting. Had all the MMS brand new members. So that was cool stuff to save. But back to this book. So I bought this thing on a buy it, not a buy it now, but a make offer. And I thought, man, I got a great price. Well, when the person agreed so fast, I thought, man, I better go through there again. And I saw this. Okay, now I didn't pay a ton for this book, but I saw this, and then what I said to myself is, what did you do, Silver? Because I knew, even though I got a great deal, I've got a bunch of them that I really need one with rusted staples. But I'm also a man of integrity. I'm a man of my word, and I made the offer. And so I completed the purchase. I paid them, and they shipped it to me. They did a beautiful job. Well, I got this, and I don't know. I was going to do a video on this, and I'm sorry if I already did the video. I don't remember. My memory is like so short nowadays. But I think this is the first time I'm showing this book. Part of Scary Times question, I did regret making that offer and not really researching. If I saw it had rust, I wouldn't have got it. But there's always a silver lining. We can always make lemonade. So what's cool about this book that most people will find not so cool is that it's rusted enough that the pages come out. And I think what I'm going to end up doing with this is I think I'm going to end up mounting this into Mylar so that I can display it like this, but I can display both sides. Most collectors will never see the inside of one of these. Hey, Bub's Comics is in the house. Guys, if you're not subbed up to Bub, sub each other. I loved it the other day. You guys were all subbing. But I just wanted to show Bub that I'm always thinking of you. I got these for you, and I don't have your address anymore. But if you send me your address, I'm going to mail you these delicious Charlton Chews, my friend. These will be coming your way. And I showed this off the other day. I don't know if you saw it. It might not even be here anymore. Yeah, I think I filed it away. I had the actual ad where you send away for that Wolverine that you were showing off. So anyway, so I have this, and it's already, you know, it's a perfect condition book. It's really nice. Let's see. Do you have Superboy 131? Front cover ad took art from Batman 1A1. You know what? I'll have to look. I might, Big Will, I might have that. And 316's a nice pickup. Those are great. So I'm going to make lemonade out of this. It was a purchase that I, in the moment, regretted. But then in retrospect, it's like most guys will never see this. My friends, if I have friends that come over and they want to drink beer and talk comics, they always want to open these up and look through them. And I really don't want to do that because these are all in, the binding is in great condition. Hey, seeking David SMNC. How you doing, pal? So I'm going to turn this one into one that I can mount, and it'll just be in Mylar. And then if people want to see them and you know, look at what's in there, they can. And I'm not going to sweat it. And I just think they're cool. I love these. So that was one thing to discuss. And then the last thing to discuss, Chino Comics and More. Welcome. Glad to have you. The other day I was showing off these books, the superhero catalogs, and I got to this page and I pointed out this clock and I said, more is going to come on that. And Dr. Von Schilla mentioned that he had a friend when he was younger that had that clock. And lo and behold, what do we have here? There is the clock. And this clock works. It doesn't talk, but it does work. And I have a friend. I got this as part of one of my recent hauls. I sold 13 boxes to my buddy Brad, who has a store. Well, I was negotiating with him on this clock for ages, and he wouldn't sell it to me. We couldn't get to a price. And so I had those 13 boxes, which were gold, and I gave him a great price on them. But I said, hey, you should have sold me that clock because now I want it as part of the deal. And he laughed, and I laughed. And yesterday, I went and picked it up. And he wasn't laughing. I think he thought I was joking. But this is a 1974 clock. And he even said he's going to clean the contacts for me. So thanks, Brad, for that. And that's right there. $18.95 way back when. Okay, so that was an expensive clock, I think, back then. But I love it. And that's going to be part of the comic room. And can't wait to have that. So Biggie Shack's in here. Very cool. Biggie Shack used to have a different channel name. I didn't know. He told me the other day it was Melody in some numbers behind it. But, Biggie Shack's been around a while. Just when people change the channel name, it's tricky because we don't always follow it. And there have been a few guys who have changed channel names. And I always think to myself, don't do it. Or, have something so that we know that you changed your channel name, and then we understand. Oh, yeah, Melody 121680. So, yep, there you go. Let's see. So, another one from the catalog. Absolutely, and really no money out of pocket because it was negotiated in. And that particular collection I bought ended up having some true gold inside of it I didn't know about. So, that deal worked out. Brad's real happy with it. I'm real happy with it. And then, I got this cool clock that I really love. You guys see that? It's beautiful. I can only imagine how much lead paint went into making this clock, but that's why it looks so cool, is all that lead paint, which I call that the good stuff. All right. So, guys, that's about it. I don't know what else to talk about today. Shoot, another 25 minutes. Where'd the time go? Thanks, guys, for sticking with me. I am going to close it up unless, someone has a question. Maybe one of you guys will go do a live show now, and I'll be thinking of you. So, Bubs, remember, send me an email. Because you got these delicious, it says try 'em frozen. I know it's Bub's Comics favorite thing, and he loves these candy bars. So I'm going to hook him up. So, Bubs, there's my email address. Send me an email, 2Ds in Silver Age Dave. I'll mail those out to you. Oh, hey, you guys want me to show one more cool book? I showed this before, but I never went into detail on it. I had it sitting out here. Do people want me to stay like another couple minutes? I could do that. Metarog, no, I don't. I don't have the Series B. I've looked at it, and guys that have it want so much money for them, and I've just never felt like getting the second one was something I wanted to do. But if I ever come across one, you know, absolutely, I'd love to have it. I think that's cool. So, hey, Paul. Yep, stay on. Okay, so this is a book I had showed off a while ago. I bought a collection from a lady. Her name's Dorothy, and we go to church together. She's much, much older. Her husband was a comic collector, and she had a son that was a comic collector, and she had all these boxes, and I paid quite a bit for the collection, but it had some really nice stuff in it. Well, in the collection, it had this book, which I always thought was cool. I've never shown, I don't think I've ever really shown this book, so this will be a first time. And this is what it's supposed to look like when it's properly printed. So I truly believe this was an error because as you can see, let me back it up. Bubs, I got to get your candy bars out of the way if you're still here. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like, this color copy. And you can see where the Brave and the Bold box out is, that the Brave and the Bold is just red and yellow. So all of that disappears. The 35-cent price disappears. The number 137 in October disappear. The DC logo completely disappears except for the black outline of it. Some of the words disappear that are in color. All right. And I always thought this one was funny because you could probably put a few words in there that are not so nice, you know, if it's one of those fill in the blanks. But you know, use your imagination, I guess. When I saw that at first, I thought, man, that could be kind of dirty if you made it a sketch cover. But here's the cool part about it. And yeah, I've never seen anything like this. It is not an ash can. So here's the really cool thing is it was printed, like Metarog said, without color. And so there's the back. That's the daisy. You know what? I'm going to pull this one out, which isn't anything. It's a demon appearance, but it's not that crazy special an issue. So that's what the daisy ad is supposed to look like. And so that's how that printed out. And you don't really lose a lot in that one because it's just color, you know, inside of the black lines. And then on the inside, what we have is we've got a gray ad there. And on this one, if memory serves me, it's just a gray and black and white ad. So, you know, on the inside of this one, same thing happened, that it's just the, you know, the base colors, but they're kind of like that grayscale if you can save printer ink. So the blacks aren't really, really black and the grays aren't really, really gray. And that's what happened in the front. But the comic itself is in great shape. So, you know, they had just a misprint cover, and it got stapled on there. It's in, you know, okay shape. It could probably use a press, but I was shocked that that it came through, and you know how the people got it, I have no idea. That's one I would like to get slabbed again, just for the sake of saving it. And I have to believe there's probably a Brave and Bold collector out there, or a Demon fan, or just a, you know, a Batman fan that would love to have something like that. And what I have to say to them is, too bad, they're all mine. No, I'm kidding. It's just a cool thing. And so that's the first time I think I've ever opened it up and shared it with people. So now we are at 30 minutes. If it's CGC, one's on eBay for 425. Oh, you're talking about, sorry guys, I lost track of the, so we're talking about Cap 100. Sorry, I lost track of that. I'm trying to be careful. If I pull a book out of a bag, I try to be careful. So, Cap 100, it's one of those great issues. Everyone loves that. Talking values, having a good time. Comics Friday. Guys, thank you so much. I am going to wrap it up. Thank you for the comments and for Dave, you an owner of an LCS. No, I'm not. I thought I had 20,000 books. Don the Comic Junkie shouted me out the other day. I was on one of his live shows just as a, watching. And he said, he's got just over 20,000. And now that I'm reorganizing, what I have found is I'm well over 30,000. I think I'm in the 35,000 comic range. Still puts me small time compared to guys like Vin Crew and Captain Strange Life, and there's a handful of guys who've shouted out and said, "Oh, I've got 100,000 books," and I can't hardly keep this stuff straight, but I'm gonna get there. It might take me another month or two. So happy that I was able to entertain. I really, again, humbly and heartfelt thank you for anyone who stopped in and watched and checked it out. Hopefully you saw something cool and enjoyed your afternoon. Make the weekend awesome. Put a smile on someone else's face. That helps us to smile. And I'm always thinking of you. Okay, so you guys be good, be safe. If you're going to have a beer, say a little toast to Silver. Silver Age Dave is out.